It'll work.
I'll just never mind out.
You didn't. You did that on purpose. Find someone like you. You've got to at least resolve it, man. Ugh. Win. What up? What up? Win.
What are the dollars you murder for?
Is that the one? Nope, we're not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it. You can't trick me. You can't make me sing a whole song by triggering me.
You know, sometimes I'll do that. I'll just be like, I'm gonna make Kyle sing a certain song, and then I'll just be, I'll like what I did with Adele.
It'll work.
I'll just never mind out.
You didn't. You did that on purpose. Find someone like you. You've got to at least resolve it, man. Ugh. Make me uncomfortable. Oh, jeez. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to my torture. Not really. And to a spoiler episode of The Chris and Kyle Show, featuring the film I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
How many times when you were researching this and thinking about it in your head did you get the title wrong? Where you're like you threw in an extra word or something?
None times.
Well, I was like typing up my notes for this. I was like, I just don't feel at home in this world anymore. Like
so,
I was just adding in and taking out.
So this movie was made in 2017, and I've been hearing about it. I feel like since 2016 when it was being made. This movie's been built up a lot for me. It's been on Netflix now for at least a year, and it's been on my watch list, and I just haven't watched it. But I was listening to a podcast with Elijah Wood on it, and he was talking about it, and it was like while it was being made. So I've known this movie existed for a long time, and I've wanted to see it because I've heard so many good things about it, and it did so well at festivals and stuff like that. So it was built up a lot. So the title I think was maybe like a little more ingrained.
Right.
So I didn't mess it up.
Okay. But like I feel like there's certain movies that there was like a Joaquin Phoenix movie that's like I'm not.
Wait, you mean Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin. The title of the movie? No, yeah, her. Yeah. No, the title was like I'm not here.
I don't know.
I'm no longer here, or something. I don't know.
There's that new one. He won't go far on foot.
What? He won't go.
That already
far
came
on
out.
foot.
Yeah.
Is it a Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Yeah.
He just likes long titles, dude.
Yeah.
That's how we need to.
And he likes
him.
her.
That's how we need to fucking hook him, dude. We're gonna go to LA, find Joaquin Phoenix, like walk into where would Joaquin Phoenix walk to? Like
somewhere really weird.
Trader Joe's.
That's not weird enough.
That's not weird enough?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Like
listen, dude.
A cocaine deal.
Listen, dude.
So we find.
Now you're just making assumptions.
I have no idea. But I forgot where this bit was going.
You want to make a really long title. I'm waiting for you to give me a really long title, a fake title that's super long.
Okay.
To trick Joaquin Phoenix into being in the movie.
I'm the one who makes shoes in a store of gerbils and such.
The Daniel Day-Lewis story.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix plays Daniel Day-Lewis, the cobbler.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Enough of this nonsense. So this film was written and directed by Macon Blair, who made Green Room. Wait, no.
What?
Nope.
Chill.
That's the new one.
Hold up.
Wait, let me get my colored movies right. Blue Ruin. Gold, right? No, wait. See, his stuff's weird. God. He's acted and hold on, I'm looking at it.
You want me to help you out?
Dude, my computer's going nuts.
Okay, so Macon Blair, you might know him as he acts more than anything. Okay. But he and Jeremy Saulnier, who is a writer-director.
He's Green Room creator.
Yeah, so
Macon Blair was in Green Room.
Yes. But they were both like childhood friends. They met each other when like they were 11 and made movies together. Started making movies together.
That's cool.
And made movies all through high school, and then they separated for college. Jeremy Saulnier went to NYU, and Macon Blair actually went to VCU. Go Rams!
That's where Kate goes, right?
Yeah, where she graduated. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to do that. Shout out
Virginia Commonwealth.
Yeah. But Jeremy Saulnier directed Murder Party, Blue Ruin, Green Room, and Hold the Dark. And Jeremy Saulnier has acted in, I think, all of those films. I'm not sure about Hold the Dark. but he did Right Hold the Dark. But he was in the Florida Project with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
This is Macon Blair now. Macon Blair is
Macon Blair, who wrote and directed the film we're talking about.
yes. And he was also in it, but it was a very small portion. It was a pretty funny scene.
I don't know what he looks like, so I don't know who he was.
Okay, so I'm guessing because you don't know what he looks like or anything that you've never seen a Jeremy Saulnier film.
No, I've not seen Green Room
or Blue Ruin.
Or Blue Ruin. No, I haven't.
Okay. So, what are some adjectives that you would? Do you want to go through the rest of the cast?
Well, there's only like two that are super important. The lead is Melanie Linsky. She plays Ruth, and then Elijah Wood, whose production company was involved in the making of this film as well. So this was like a big passion project for him, and he plays this weird, wacky, supporting lead kind of character. He's super weird.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
So wait, you want to ask me what adjectives?
Yeah, what adjectives would you use to describe this movie?
It's kind of bleak, but in like it's not bleak in a boring way. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of, it feels hopeless.
It's not
a lot of the time.
It's hopeless, but in an amusing way.
Yeah.
You know, in a like a...
It's
with a sense of humor.
What's the sense of humor when you like are deadpan, but you say funny stuff? What am I thinking of? Oh,
I would just say deadpan. I don't know.
No, jeez, that's gonna bother me. All right, keep talking.
Okay, but yeah, I would say, okay, so I've seen so far from either of these two guys, Jeremy Saulnier and Macon Blair, I've seen Blue Ruin, Green Room, and this movie. I don't feel
Green Room and Blue Ruin are really acclaimed, by the way.
And I like them. I like all three of them. All three sort of have very similar themes. I would say that they're like, they're all small movies, but like they're like kind of uncinematic in the way that they're written, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's kind of dull.
Yeah. And
like even when things that are sort of wacky and out of the ordinary are happening, it feels very ordinary.
Right.
Which I think is kind of an accomplishment.
Ordinary is a really good word for it. Like I would say idiosyncratic is another word.
Yeah, like the whole climactic scene of this movie, it doesn't feel crazy. But it is. If you told someone what happened, if you were like, oh, yeah, they show up at the house and then people start shooting each other.
Yeah, it's a story that like if someone told you this at a bar, you'd be like, yeah, that definitely happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what all three of these movies are. It's kind of like the worst things that could happen to good people or to normal people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say good people, normal people. Did you like it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought I would like it more than I did.
Okay.
I didn't by any stretch like not enjoy it. I enjoyed myself watching it. I think it was built up a little bit too much for me, maybe.
Really?
Because I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was.
Okay.
Like I thought it had moments that were funny, and I thought Elijah Wood was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
it's not even a comedy.
No, but everything I've heard about it is people talking about how funny it is and how insightful it is. And I feel like it's my fault. I just feel like I missed a lot of the stuff that people have said about it. Like, talking about how funny it is. I thought the lead was good, but not great. I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, she's fine.
But I've heard people like rave about how wonderful she was. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, I get like,
I think
maybe because it's so subdued, it's not like an over the top or like exceptional reach of a performance. It's just very, I'm a normal person.
Yeah, I think you got Karate Kidded. I think you got you overhyped it too much.
Yeah, I did what you always do with stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like, there's also talk about there's a lot of praise for like it's like look at like gender issues and stuff like that. And I feel like I just didn't catch it.
Okay, yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes in their critics consensus, they brought up how it brought up a lot of gender dynamics.
Yeah,
and
like, I just didn't understand it.
Is it just because you have like sort of a middle-aged female lead?
I don't know.
And we're not used to seeing that?
Yeah, but I feel like if you're going to say a film brings up a social dynamic, it shouldn't just because of the character being in the movie. It should be what's being addressed in the movie. And I don't feel like I don't think that the cop was treating her the way she was because she was a woman. I think the cop was treating her the way he was because that's how he would treat anyone who suffered a break-in with no clues to follow.
Right. And was being
and
slightly narcissistic about how things should be fixed.
And seemed like she was kind of inept. Like she left her door open. Like if you leave your door open, you're going to get robbed. When I had all the coins stolen out of my car, I didn't get mad at anyone because I leave my car door open. I'm welcoming it.
Right.
Yeah, that I didn't. When I watched it, I definitely didn't go, "Oh wow, I'm getting a unique vantage point on gender discrepancies while watching this film." I didn't get that at all.
Yeah,
I definitely understand the other sort of I don't know if you want to call it theme or whatever, but the take on it's just kind of like, are there good people? That seemed to be the center, the driving force of the movie to me. Mm-hmm. Is the sort of bleak idea that people are generally not nice or good. Which, I mean, if you want to look at things pessimistically, sure, but that's just not it's not what I'm usually drawn to. I didn't watch and go, that's not, people don't act like this, but like I tend to look at things through a more rose-colored lens or a glass half full kind of viewpoint.
You're more optimistic.
I'm more optimistic, yeah. But that dude in the bar in the beginning of the movie, unforgivable.
Okay, that's Macon Blair.
Oh, it is?
That's
Oh,
Macon
okay.
Blair.
The guy with the book.
Yes.
Dude, unforgivable.
Okay, for those that actually haven't watched this movie, there's a scene where the main character is reading a book in a bar, and a guy comes up while he's
in a series of novels.
Yeah. And a guy comes up and he's like, "Oh man, I love that book. It's great. Where are you at?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm at the War of Algeron or whatever." And she's like, "Oh man, it's so great." And he's like, "Yeah, it's one of my favorites." The
worst part.
This character is actually this character's father.
That's the worst part. Is the conversation ends on a nice point. They have a nice conversation,
and there's
about having a mutual like for the book and being excited about it. And then he just goes, "Oh, by the way, spoiler." He just says it. That's the worst thing that anyone does in this movie. I don't care about the murder or the drug deals or anything. That's the worst crime committed in this. You can't just do that to someone. Come on.
Do you think that he intended to do that? Like he wanted to spoil?
No, I think he was just the character.
I think
the character is probably like a socially awkward dude who likes fantasy stories and met a girl who liked the fantasy
obliviously
story. And obliviously was like, but not cool, man.
Because that kind of aids to her perspective on the film. Like early on, she's talking to her friend and she's talking about how everybody in the world just wants to take. They just want mine, and like we're all gonna die. And which actually I really like that scene in the beginning because she's like
when she's talking to the girl's daughter. In the very beginning.
In the very beginning,
in the hospital.
In the hospital. She's a nurse and she's taking care of this really awful lady.
Just horrible
and the lady's watching something on the news and complaining about. She's being like racist.
She's doing like the most old person stuff you can imagine.
Yeah,
like,
and she's just like gross. With everything that she's saying, and then she just dies.
Yeah,
and then the family shows up and they're distraught.
Mm-hmm.
And
did she have any final words?
The family asks if she had any final words before.
And she just is like,
But yeah, that scene in the bar with Macon Blair and him spoiling the book for her, it aids to the people kind of suck narrative that they're
they push it's pushed super like even her friends are just like everyone seems so sad.
Yeah,
everyone is just so bleak and dull. And then like her best friend's husband comes home and it seems like he doesn't like Ruth for some reason, and we don't ever really get the story behind it. But there's just like this weird relationship. And then we meet Elijah Wood, and it's like, oh, look, there's light in the world from this freaking weirdo who listens to heavy metal and has a rat tail and is like an evangelist. He's like talks about Jesus and stuff when they first meet, and he's like overly committed to doing the right thing.
Evangelist is like different than he's very religious, but like evangelism is like trying to persuade someone into your religion, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't really do that with her.
Not really.
So
he's just very preachy.
Yeah. I really enjoyed all of the weirdo characters in this. I'm not sure how you.
I loved Elijah Wood. You mean like the villains and stuff too?
So yeah,
Yeah, I liked 'em.
The two that came up to my mind originally,
Well, probably the
Christian Rumack, the character Christian Rumack, played by Robert Longstreet.
Which character
and
was that?
Christian Jr.
the
Played by
lawyer
Devin
guy
Gray.
and the blonde hair kid.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Dude, that lawyer was an asshole.
yeah, but I fucking really enjoyed him on screen.
Yeah.
That guy is also in Sorry to Bother You.
Okay.
Robert Longstreet was also in
Blah blah blah.
blah 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 blah. Yeah. These movies are very bleak in a this movie is very bleak in a really quirky kind of way. It's not like True Detective. True Detective is very bleak, but I would say the philosophies of the nihilism are way more fleshed out in True Detective than they are in this movie.
Well, I don't even know
and
if
they're
I would
not-
say that she's actually a nihilist. I think she just doesn't have any very many friends.
She's a pessimist more than a
Yeah.
nihilist. Yeah.
She just like is having a rough go of it. That's a lot of notes
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at you.
I had to make the font on the page
Smaller?
like really small
to not
in order
waste
to
paper.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you think that there are any tropes in this movie?
Tropes. I mean, probably. I'm trying to remember.
So this movie, and as well as like Jeremy Saulnier,
I feel like most movies
have tropes.
Right. Like, I don't have a problem with tropes.
I don't have, and I agree. I don't have a problem with tropes. I don't think that there's a problem, but I would say that like an interesting aspect of both of Jeremy Saulnier's movies that I've seen, as well as this movie, they are pretty tropeless.
Okay.
I would say that a lot of times they subvert a lot of the normal things that you do see in movies, right? So there's a scene in, no spoilers for Blue Ruin here, but there's a scene in Blue Ruin where the main character, Macon Blair's character, gets an arrow through his leg, I think, and he tries to pull it out.
Like a Skyrim guard?
Yeah.
Took an arrow through
the
the
knee, yeah. But yeah, he tries to pull it out, and he can't do it, and has to go to the hospital.
Okay.
You know, like it's like a weird, quirky thing that you don't see in most movies. You know, like normally in most movies you'd see him like tough it out and pull a arrow out of his leg, but in a Jeremy Saulnier or a Macon Blair movie, it's much more like grounded and weird and kind of awkward, and it kind of
It's very awkward.
yeah.
Like everyone's like bumbling around.
But yeah, like there isn't a lot of trope, which is, I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I just think it's an interesting aspect of it. Out of the three movies that I've seen, out of those three, and I understand that this is a Macon Blair movie and not a Jeremy Saulnier movie, but I mean, the styles are so close to each other that it might as well be a Jeremy Saulnier movie. Out of the three, I would say that Green Room is my favorite. One, Anton motherfucking Yelchin.
Ooh, that boy.
And two, like I feel like they like it's more playful. Which I'm interested in going
that
back
could
and
also
seeing.
be because Anton Yelchin's in it. Does he bring
I would-
that?
No, I would
No?
no. It's like
I mean, I haven't seen it, so, I can't really speak to
I
anything.
read an art interview with Jeremy Saulnier talking about his relationship with Macon Blair, and he was talking about how growing up, all the stuff that he would write was like sort of like zombie massacre kind of shit, and Macon Blair was always writing like crime thrillers.
Okay.
And I was like, after seeing both of their styles, I'm like, oh, okay, like this
Makes
kind of
sense.
makes sense. And I'm really interested in going back and watching Murder Party. Apparently, that's really good too. But it's supposed to be like even more wacky.
I mean, it's called Murder Party.
Yeah. What do you think are the best? Sorry,
What?
I thought. What do you think are the best parts of this movie?
The best parts of this movie, I think Elijah Wood. I think I liked the scene where they first meet the wife a lot.
That was fun.
Right before the lawyer came home.
Yeah.
I like that scene a lot.
Especially when you figure out that she already knew that
Yeah,
they weren't
yeah.
cops,
She was
and
like,
she's just
"I'm
lonely.
fucking bored." I really liked. I'm trying to think of other stuff that really stood out. I liked like the climax. The climax was fun. I liked when they left the lawyer's house and they like stole his lawn ornament and stuff. Like that whole thing was funny. I like the scene where when she tracks down her laptop and they go to the college kids' house, college kids' house.
Yeah.
And they like Elijah Wood like punches the dude, then he throws his shuriken into the wall, and then they just take it, and he's like, I paid good money for that. It's like they're like not evil at all. They're just like kids, and you're like, oh okay, like kind of like not tropey, like you were talking about, sort of.
Right, like it subverts the conflict,
what you expect, sort of.
Yeah.
I also liked the garage sale place end scene. I thought that was cool with that old man. Poor old man.
Yeah, there's a lot of Macon Blair can write a scene really well. I would say that's like a something that him and Jeremy Saulnier have in common. Like they can write really good scenes. Like there's always like these elements that you're constantly uncovering, and then you're getting surprised and stuff like that. I feel like a young Quentin Tarantino would fucking love both of these guys.
Okay.
You know, because they're so kind of like offbeat.
Yeah.
And the scenes are developed so well, and they are tense. Like there's a lot
certainly.
There's a lot of good conflict, even though like a lot of times at the end of the scene they will subvert it somehow. Yeah, but I would say it's a good movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
It's definitely good.
Yeah. Well, like what are some cons? What didn't you like about it?
I think more than not liking, I think it just wasn't fully what I expected.
Right.
I just had, like you said, I built it up in a different way than what it was. I had a little bit of a different idea of what it was supposed to be coming into it, which is kind of, you know, what's the sin of the viewer at that point? Like,
yeah,
the best way to go into a movie is knowing nothing.
Right.
So that's my own fault. I think just it is like a little bit bleak. I don't want to say that I didn't like the character Ruth, but I don't vibe with the character. You know what I mean? Like when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, this is a good character that's being well acted and well written, but I wouldn't want to hang out with her.
like a Lady Bird syndrome.
Yeah, kind of like Lady Bird. Yeah, not in like as the pretentious way of Lady Bird though. Like
she's
Lady
not
Bird is pretentious.
Yeah.
Ruth is just sad.
Yeah.
She just seems like a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Yeah. She's just being around her would be depressing.
Yeah.
I'd also be afraid to hang out with Elijah Wood.
Do you think that this movie lacks heart?
I think
it seems like kind of overly harsh.
I think that's what the movie's about. Is about the world not having heart, and you need to find the people that do. Hence Elijah Wood. That's why Elijah Wood's character is in this movie.
Yeah.
Because the point of the movie is that you need to find the few people in the world that are going to be there for you and have heart. So I wouldn't say the movie lacks heart. I think the movie is making a point by lacking heart in other places.
Right. I think that's a good point. That's a good point. Because that was one thing that I kind of thought of while I was watching the movie and with other like Saulnier movies that I've seen and other stuff with Macon Blair. Like I was just like, there's nothing, and I don't have to feel uplifted in order to enjoy something.
No, definitely not. Because then you'd be taking out swaths of great movies. Like a lot of movies that are really well made and really good can be depressing and sad.
Yeah.
Like different types of emotions and viewpoints need to be explored through the medium. Like it's not just about being uplifted or happy.
Yeah. Like even like Social Network isn't like uplifting. I mean, it's kind of like the dude is really fucking lonely.
Yeah.
And True Detective. I mean, like it ends on a positive note, but
This is
what?
I don't know how it ends. I thought everyone died. You ruined it for me.
Yep. Damn. There it goes.
I'm so sad
You're
that
never
Woody
going
Harrelson lives.
You're never going to enjoy True Detective.
Never.
I never said that. He
You're
lives.
right. You're right. You didn't say that. You just. Oh wait, is it uplifting because Woody Harrelson dies? Wow. I know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Snow.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Do you know if either of them have anything coming out soon? I'll look right now. If you don't.
I mean, they just came out with Hold the Dark, which
Hold
is
the
on.
Dark.
Which is
They
on
did it
Netflix right
together?
now, which apparently a lot of people don't like Hold the Dark.
Hold the Dark. Oh yeah, bad IMDb score.
It's
Directed
bad
by
on IMDb.
Saulnier, written by
Megan
Megan
Blair.
Blair. Okay.
And it's adapted from a novel.
Oh, this is that Netflix movie with
Yes.
with Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is part of their December storm, the Netflix December storm. There's something like 25 movies coming out on Netflix this month.
Oh, damn.
It's crazy.
But Hold the Dark has a bad IMDb score, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it's getting good reviews from the critics, but
And
getting
bad from the
fucking
audience.
really bad.
It's probably
from the-
just super duper bleak.
26% from the audience.
Yeah, like I feel like movies like that sometimes they're just bleak movies and people don't vibe with it. Because I think, for like me or you, we might go into a movie and we might be open to experiencing whatever story and trail the director and writer want to take us on, whatever emotion they want to portray and whatever story they want to tell. I think a lot of people, probably most people, want to go to see a movie to feel better.
Right.
I think that a lot of people, movies and TV shows are a form of escapism to feel, to get out of what they're experiencing.
We still use that for.
Yeah, sure,
Like,
absolutely. But I think in a different way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think that most people go, well, why do you like watching a Marvel movie? Because the good guy wins. You go on a fun adventure and the good guy wins. And I love Marvel movies as much as, if not more, than anyone. I'm obsessed with them.
Than a majority of
Than a majority of people,
Right.
yeah. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy something that's the complete opposite. Where I think a lot of people don't want to they don't want to feel sad. It's like how I don't really like horror movies, even good ones, because I don't necessarily like being scared. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even if I saw Hereditary, I might go, "Wow, Hereditary is an amazing film."
But you might not.
Toni
enjoy the
Collette is
horror.
incredible in this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't like the way I feel while I watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that speaks more to rewatches than anything for me. Like I'll watch Hereditary once and be like, "All right, I'm good. I experienced it. I don't want to do it again. Don't want to go through it again."
Hereditary is a weird one. Like you haven't seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So like
It's just the best horror movie that I could think of that came out this year.
No. Yeah, but like it's a weird one because it's so based in like there's a lot of emotional and like family drama.
Yeah, what you've told me.
But yeah, like people enjoy certain kinds of movies, and like
And then there's the opposite hand. There's people who only want to watch like sad stuff because it like feeds their own nihilism and pessimism. They're like, "That's right. That's how the world is."
You ever seen Blue Valentine?
No.
A lot of people complain about Blue Valentine because it's so sad. And Manchester by the Sea is another one.
I love Manchester by the Sea.
I
but
think
you're
it's
right,
fucking
dude,
incredible.
I went and saw Manchester by the Sea in the movie theater, and as I left, I was walking behind a pair of like middle-aged women that were like, "What a waste of 2 hours. I can't believe I sat through that whole thing." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like that was the second most rage I've felt from a conversation I overheard at a movie theater. The first being the one where a lady talked about making her kid go see a different movie than her so that she could watch whatever movie was on at the same time as the kid's movie. I got triggered as hell. Have I never told you that story?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Dude, I tweeted in rage at this. I was waiting in line to buy a ticket for a movie. I don't even remember what movie it was. This is like 2 years ago. And in front of me were a mother, a young child, maybe like 4 years old, and a grandmother. They went up to the ticket box and they bought 2 tickets for the kid movie. One for the grandma, one for the kid. And the mom was like, they were like, "Well, do you want a ticket as well?" And she was like, "What's on at the same time?" Or no, she said, "What gets out at the same time?" And the guy was like, this one is like 10 minutes later. And she was like, all right, I'll take it. And I got triggered. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you're going to go see. And the thing that made me extra mad is like they saw something like garbage. It was like Hitman 47 or something. I think I might have been going to see American Ultra, and it was Hitman 47. She's like, just give me that one. And I got so triggered. I was like,
what was the kids movie?
I don't even remember.
Was it something good?
Probably not. It's probably like Angry Birds or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But I got so triggered because one of my greatest memories like of my childhood was when Pokemon the movie came out.
Yeah.
And my dad took me to see it.
Yeah, my mom took me to see it.
My dad took me to see Pokemon the movie, and he sat through that whole movie, and he was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
He had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
He was so confused, and he hated it.
Yeah.
But he saw it with me, and I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much, and I felt like I had this experience with my dad, and it was so special to me.
Right.
And when I heard that that's like a thing that because then I went home and I complained to my mom about it. I like told her this story. She's like, yeah, parents do that. And I was like, it's just a thing. Parents just don't see the kids movie because they're like, that's for kids. And then they don't have that experience with their kids.
Yeah.
And I got super triggered by that. But these ladies talking about Manchester by the Sea as I walked out was the second most triggered I've ever gotten, because they were talking about how bad it was. And I was like, if you can't like lift the lens of like expectation for happiness and at the very least appreciate the quality of what you just watched. You don't have to necessarily say you liked it, but if you're going to say it's bad and a waste of 2 hours because it was sad, just get out.
Yeah.
Leave me. Leave my space.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. That has nothing to do with I don't feel at home in this
No,
world anymore. But
we
went on. We went on.
I
tangent.
ranted.
It's okay. Who would like this movie? Who are the types of people that would like I don't feel at home in this world anymore?
Are you asking me for like a specific person that I know,
Yeah,
or
like who are the no like the type of people?
I mean, I think people who like film, people who are
I would say people that are like
that sample from different varieties and genres
like
and tones.
if you're comfortable with like seeing indie movies and not being too judgmental, because it is good.
It's really it's really well made.
Yeah. It's well written,
well acted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it checks all the boxes of a good movie.
Yeah.
It's just kind of bleak and it's like dull is the wrong word, but I can't think of a different one. You know what I mean? It's like kind of
ordinary
flat.
is better.
It's ordinary. Yeah. It's not.
I would say
most films are an enhanced view of what happens.
I
in
would
the world.
say the subject matter, like the narrative, is ordinary, not the film itself. Like because I would say
even though
more,
crazy stuff happens.
Huh?
Crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel crazy.
Yeah.
It's just super grounded. And like, no, this is just this is what's happening. This is happening. It's not, it's not over the top in any way.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
See it. It's on Netflix. It's like just see it. It's super easy to see.
Is Elijah Wood on the cover? The
yeah,
poster?
his picture's on there. Yeah. And the super long title's on there.
Always makes me think of
You know what I
Sin City.
didn't know? I didn't know that it was, but in the end, because I was always like, why is the title so long? And it's named after a song.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they play the song.
Yeah, they play the song at the end of the movie. Yeah. Actually, the music's kind of cool in this movie. Now that I mentioned that, it's like cool. It's like that good country music, that like old school good country music.
Well, and there's also like metal and shit. Like
yeah, when Elijah Wood's character is around.
But
yeah.
that's one thing that I do like. That their movies do really well. Like they don't have like really generic like, oh, we're gonna throw in like random punk song here.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it was like curated.
Yeah.
Well,
like, there was that one scene I literally said while we were watching it, I was like, is she listening to this or is it soundtrack?
Right.
Because she was just literally just sitting on the couch with the song playing, and I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
It was sort of so seamlessly incorporated into what was happening, and then she started like swaying to it, and I was like, okay, yeah, she's listening to what we're listening to. It's just it set the tone of what the scene so well that I was like, what's happening? What is that called when you There's a word for it.
When it's like within the environment of the
Yeah.
film itself, diegetic or diegetic.
Diegetic.
I don't know how I don't know how to say it.
Diegetic.
But yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. Yeah, see it. It's on Netflix. Elijah Wood's dope. You got anything else?
And plenty other.
No.
Yeah.
I don't mean. A lot of people in this movie are dope. In general, Elijah Wood is a dope person. I don't know if you've ever heard interviews with Elijah Wood, but he's like a super cool guy.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Can I talk about next week?
Let's do it.
Can I talk about next week? Yo, next week? You know what next week is?
What's next week?
Next week is SpiderMan week. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So next week, this comes out. Oh, I'm looking, but I can't read because I don't have my glasses on. This drops on Thursday. So the guest episode already came out. So I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with Adrian and meeting him with us. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. Now it's Spider-Man week. Next week, we have 2 spoiler episodes for you. Because we stumbled upon, we discovered something. We came upon a discovery. And that discovery is that Spider-Man 3 is actually good. And we were both surprised to find out because of the cultural zeitgeist of Spider-Man 3 being the punchline of a joke.
85% of it is good.
Yeah.
85% of it is good.
Yeah.
Like you could remove 15 minutes out of that movie and it would be good.
Yeah. So come in, check out spoiler episode for Spider-Man 3. We will tell you why it's good, and we will tell you about, what could be done better. Mm-hmm. And next Thursday, we're going to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Have you seen how well received it's being? Dude, like I was already super excited. I'm like losing my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited for that movie. So yeah, come back for that next week. It's going to be super fun. I'm really excited. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Instagram, YouTube, podcasting platforms. The Chris and Kyle Show. Vote on the poll so that the week after Spider-Man week, you get to pick our episode. Is it Bumblebee or is it Aquaman? I don't know. We don't know yet. The people have to tell us. I don't know.
I hope it's Bumblebee.
That seems like reverse psychology. He actually hopes it's Aquaman.
Is it?
I don't know.
Reverse
Vote
psychology.
with your heart. Don't vote to try to spite his fake attempt at swaying you. Just whatever you want to hear us talk about, vote for that. Because I will say this. If you vote for Aquaman, we're going to talk about the DC universe. And if you vote for Bumblebee, we're going to talk about the Transformers movies as a whole. We might have to watch The Last Night if we do that.
I haven't seen
The Last Night. I had no interest in watching
Dinobots or...
Wait, I thought The Last Night was Dinobots.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll have some catching up to do. So vote on that poll and come back by and see us next week for Spider-Man week. This has been the Chris and Kyle Show. Spoilers for I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. We out.
We out. Stay weird.